I don't care how beautiful you thought it was. That plantation burning down, that was justice. That was release. That was over a century of pain exhaling. And if you're more upset about the building than the bodies that built it, you were never on the right side of history to begin with. So let's talk about it. Nottoway Plantation, the biggest plantation house that was still standing in the South. 53,000 square feet of sugar-coated horror. Enslaved people were forced to build it in 1859 by John Hampton Randolph, a man who got rich off of enslaving over 150 Black people. I'm not talking they worked for him. I'm talking full ownership. People with families, names, dreams, all stolen, stripped down, and used. He had that house built to show off. It had gas lighting, hot and cold water, and imported marble in 1859. Meanwhile, the folks who actually built it, they were out in the cane fields breaking their backs from sunup to sundown. No rest, no pay, no freedom, just labor and loss. And when slavery ended, he didn't stop exploiting them. He kept that land going with the same people, now trapped in poverty instead of chains. But here's where it gets disgusting. If we fast forward 100 years, Nottoway becomes a resort, a place you could throw a wedding, a party, a brunch. People literally clink champagne glasses on the same grounds where babies were ripped from their mothers. They turned that plantation into a tourist attraction and never once centered the people who were forced to build it. The tour guides didn't say their names. The website didn't tell their stories. It just showed white columns and rose gardens, like the screams weren't still echoing under the floorboards. That plantation was not preserved history. It was a lie dressed up in chandeliers and white linens, a lie that let people pretend that slavery was just a dark chapter instead of the foundation. And when I saw it burning, that wasn't a tragedy. That was a reckoning. That was the land finally saying enough. And that was the ancestors saying, we're finally done being trapped here. You want to talk about sacred ground? Let the fire be the memorial. Because honestly, that place shouldn't have been standing in 2025. That was a living insult. And for the people who are crying over it, why weren't you crying for the people that it erased? Why weren't you crying for the children that were born into bondage there? For the women that were assaulted in the shadows of those white columns? For the men whose names never made it into the records? You're mourning wood and brick. I'm mourning generation. I hope the fire cracked that sky wide open. I hope the ancestors saw it from wherever they are and said, we can go now. I hope their spirits aren't bound to that place anymore, that they finally return to the land that they were stolen from, whole, restored, free. Let Nottoway stay gone. Let it rot. Let it return to the dirt. Because if a place was built on blood and built to erase the people who spilled it, it never deserved to survive.